Imagine holding in your hand a coin that looks ordinary at first glance, metal worn smooth, design familiar, but that carries within its secrets, stories, and an almost unbelievable value. This is the 1999 1 Rand from South Africa. Ordinary to many, but for the right collector, it's a gem. Crafted during a time of great change, its value today goes far beyond its face value. In 1999, South Africa continued issuing its standard 1 Rand coins, the patriotic springbok, the familiar coat of arms, the clean Latin script declaring South Africa and Suid-Afrika, the date, the engraver initials. The everyday 1 Rand is circular, mid-sized, and made for daily commerce. It passed from palm to palm, in markets and shops, in pockets and registers. Most never gave a second thought as to what lay behind its minting, its design, its place in history. The 1 Rand coin is steeped in tradition. The coat of arms bears its symbols, the shield, supporters, motto, all themselves reflective of a country forging its identity. The engraver's initials stand discreetly on the coin's face, often overlooked but essential, because they link the coin to its creator, to the mint where hands labored to strike each piece. In its reverse, the value is clearly marked, 1 Rand. The date, 1999, anchors the coin in time, just 5 years after South Africa's first democratic elections, as the country navigated new political and economic realities. By ordinary standards, the 1999 1 Rand is common. Many of them circulated, many more were minted in standard years, many more still suffered wear. Most coins of that year are held simply for their face value or as keepsakes, if they are kept at all. But among the countless, there are rare versions, proof versions, special mint issues, coins struck differently, with extra care, special finishes, often set aside in small numbers, sometimes never released to general circulation. One such special issue is the 1999 Silver Protea Mining Heritage 1 Rand proof coin. It was not part of regular circulation. It was struck in sterling silver, with a mirror-like proof finish, enclosed in a display box, accompanied by a certificate of authenticity. The mintage was tiny, only 2,500 of them made. To most people, it must feel like holding a medal rather than a coin meant for commerce. Its weight, finish, the crispness of design, every detail sharp, unscuffed, speaks to its rarity. Collectors inspect these coins under magnification. They examine the edge, the relief depth, the toning on the metal. They look at how sharp the details remain, the springbok, the lettering, the date. A slight scratch, a mark, even a tiny impurity will affect value. Condition is everything. Proof versions, sealed in mint capsules with the box and the certificate, are prized above all others. Beyond condition, rarity adds intrigue. How many were made? How many survived in perfect condition? How many were preserved versus circulated and subjected to life's abuses? In many cases, only a few dozens exist that are clean, uncirculated, flawless. That scarcity elevates value. Even among collectors, proof silver versions often outshine ordinary coins by many orders of magnitude. Then there is history. A 1999 1 Rand coin carries with it echoes of the transition period in South Africa, not the apartheid era, but a country still shaping its post-1994 identity. Economic policies, the role of gold and mining, inflation, international perception, all the background against which the coin was produced. Mining heritage ties in, especially in special editions. The silver-proof mining heritage coin directly references that legacy. It's not just metal, it's a tribute. In the marketplace for collectors, demand isn't uniform. Some want the basic coin for their collection of years. Those coins may trade for dollars or less depending on condition. Others seek proof coins, or silver special issues, or specimens sealed in mint packaging. Those are much harder to find. Auctions sometimes produce surprises. Coins thought to be worth a few hundred might fetch thousands when preserved exceptionally well. Now imagine an auction where the stakes are unfathomable. A rare coin, possibly one of the few known in perfect proof condition, offered for the world to see. Collectors bidding in ever higher increments, each recognizing the coin not simply as currency, but as artifact. And then suddenly, the hammer falls. The winning bid, $19 million. Think, a small silver coin, minted in 1999, with a face value of just 1 Rand, commanding 21st century collectors to spend $19 million. Its worth is not in weight, not in everyday buying power, but in uniqueness, rarity, beauty, history, condition, provenance. It transcends its metal. It becomes legend. If you inspect your own 1999 1 Rand coins now, perhaps in a drawer or among loose change, look at the condition of the edges. Look at the clarity of the lettering. Is SUID Africa still perfectly crisp? Is the springbok still well defined, or is it worn? Do you have a proof coin, silver finish, with box and certificate? Those are the ones collectors chase. Those are the ones that, maybe, could approach breathtaking valuations. So the next time you glance at an old R1 from 1999, remember, most are ordinary, quietly fading with time. But some are treasures, bridges to history, rare pieces of numismatic art. Among them lies the possibility that one day, someone will look at one and see far more than a coin. And one day, someone did. It sold for $19 million. The 2008 South African 20-cent coin may appear simple at first glance. A small bronze-plated coin, easy to overlook in a pile of change, lightweight, and not much larger than a bottle cap. But for those who know what to look for, this particular coin holds more than just its face value. It carries history, craftsmanship, national symbolism, and in rare cases, a price tag that will leave you speechless. This coin was part of South Africa's regular currency circulation, minted in large quantities and used in everyday transactions. You might find one at the bottom of an old drawer, buried in a box of forgotten change, or perhaps tucked away in a relative's collection. But while millions were minted, only a handful have become the focus of intense collector attention. Let's start by looking closely at the design. On the reverse, you'll see a large, detailed image of the king protea flower. The protea isn't just any plant. It's the national flower of South Africa, chosen for its uniqueness and resilience. It's a symbol of beauty, strength, and the ability to survive through difficult conditions. The coin captures this flower in full bloom, radiating confidence and national pride. Below it, the number 20 is engraved in bold, smooth font, clean and uncomplicated, clearly marking the denomination. Turn the coin over and you're met with a symbol of deep national significance, the South African coat of arms. Adopted in 2000, this emblem is packed with meaning. At the top, a rising sun, representing hope and rebirth. Just beneath, two human figures facing each other in greeting, drawn from ancient Khoisan rock art, symbolizing unity. Below them, the motto, Ku-i-zera-ke, in the Zam language, which means, diverse people unite. Further down, you'll find a spear and a knobkerrie crossed in balance, a symbol of peace and defense. Finally, at the base, a protea flower again, reinforcing the importance of growth and renewal. All of this is framed by ears of wheat, tusks of an elephant, and a shield, each a reflection of South Africa's cultural and natural wealth. Above the coat of arms, the name of the country is inscribed, but with a twist, it appears in one of South Africa's 11 official languages. On different coins, you might find it written in English, Afrikaans, Zulu, Xhosa, or another of the country's native tongues. It's a small but powerful representation of linguistic and cultural inclusion. Then there's the date, 2008. A year that might not seem special until you start to uncover what makes some coins from this batch so incredibly rare. Here's where things get interesting. Not all 2008 20-cent coins are valuable, but certain versions contain minting anomalies or design errors. These can be extremely subtle: a slight misalignment in the press, a faint doubling of the lettering, a soft strike that causes part of the image to blur or vanish slightly. In some cases, a rare die variety might be responsible for unique markings that appear only on a handful of coins. To the untrained eye, these differences are invisible. But to a seasoned numismatist, or even a collector with a keen eye, these imperfections are golden. Literally. Because when a coin like this is authenticated and confirmed to be one of those rare varieties, its value doesn't just increase, it skyrockets. Coins with errors or unique characteristics are the crown jewels of any collection. They're mysterious, hard to find, and nearly impossible to replicate. And in the case of the 2008 South African 20-cent coin, one particular specimen recently turned heads around the world. This coin, in near-perfect condition, displayed a combination of rarity markers, an unusual strike, a flawless finish, and an identifiable die variation that experts had only seen once before. It had never been circulated. Not a scratch. Preserved as if it had just been pressed yesterday. It was examined, certified, and auctioned off in a private collector's event that attracted attention from numismatists across continents. The bids climbed quickly. What began as a modest starting price shot into the thousands within minutes. Then into the hundreds of thousands. Phone lines buzzed. Emails flew in. The world's top collectors were ready to battle for it. For many, it wasn't just about owning a rare coin. It was about history, prestige, and the chance to hold something truly one of a kind. The final bid, $2 million. That's right. A coin once worth 20 cents, used to buy candy or ride a bus, is now a multi-million-dollar artifact. A reminder that sometimes, the smallest things carry the biggest value. That hidden among the ordinary, there are treasures waiting to be discovered if you know where and how to look. Close your eyes and consider what South Africa was like in 1994. The air pulsed with possibility. The nation, long shackled by apartheid, teetered on the edge of a new beginning. Nelson Mandela had become president, the first black president in decades, and people from all walks of life were cautiously stepping into daylight after years of oppression. The 5 rand coin minted that year carries that breath of freedom in every ridge, every relief, every polished surface. It is not just a financial instrument, it is a symbol of the nation's soul, minted at the freedom coin moment, right when change was no longer a dream but a promise unfolding. You hold it and feel its weight, not just in grams but in gravity. The coin's design, strong, bold, unflinching. On one side, the fiercely resilient black wildebeest, a creature built for endurance, built for the plains, surviving the elements and the predators. That wildebeest charges forward, not retreating. On the flip side, the coat of arms of South Africa, symbols of unity, of hope, of many cultures joining forces to build something new. Every line carved, every arc of metal forged, carries intention, something you almost feel under your thumb, something that almost vibrates with urgency. Pictures of coins are one thing. But holding one minted in 1994, seeing the luster it holds, knowing that for some hands it traveled many years before reaching you, this is something else. Scratches might tell stories, we might speak of journeys. That faint sound when the coin tumbles in a jar reminds you that value is not always obvious. Rarity doesn't always come from numbers. Sometimes it comes from what it represents: courage, change, hope. In the case of this 5 rand coin, it's all those things. In auction rooms, behind locked glass, when collectors whisper it might show up, eyes shine. Because people know this coin is not just metal and mint. It is memory. Collecting is not simply hoarding. It's remembering. It's preserving moments when slips of time threatened to be lost. And 1994 was one of those slips. The moment apartheid fell, when the dream of equality, of dignity, took a real shape in government, in voices, in law. When people said, no more walls, no more division. When artists, leaders, ordinary citizens risked everything so that the next generation might live differently. And in that upheaval, in every public speech, every march, every tear and smile, the world watched. The 5 rand coin was there. Marketed and distributed, stamped with imagery, produced quietly but loaded with significance. Many didn't see its full importance then. Many just saw change, unsure what shape tomorrow would take. Over time, some of these coins found their way into collectors' hands. Some remained tucked in change dishes, piggy banks, forgotten drawers. Some endured corrosion, some stayed pristine, untouched but for occasional glances. But every single one retained a connection, a thread, to that turning point. And as decades passed, those threads entwined into stories. A coin with sharp milled edges, perfect ridge definition, unblemished surface, a gem. One with slight contact marks or toned surfaces, character, history. Why does that matter? Because collectors care. Historians care. People who believe that objects are more than objects, they're artifacts of emotion, care. Now think of the demand. Not just among coin collectors in South Africa, but internationally. Anyone who studies currency, anyone who respects symbols. Auctions bidding quietly but fiercely. Pieces crossing borders, crossing continents. Quiet whispers about condition, about grading, about provenance. Questions like, did this coin come from a bank issue? Was it used in commerce? Was it stored in perfect preserving conditions? Every detail alters value. A coin in mint state, untouched, perfect fields, uncirculated, these are rare. And rarer still from that watershed year, that birthplace of modern South Africa. Picture an auction room, under soft lights, glass cases, velvet beds. The 5 rand 1994 in a protective holder, lit so the metal gleams. A collector clears throat. The bidding starts modest but rises, thousands, tens of thousands. The crowd leans forward. Someone in the back raises a pedal, someone at the desk clicks a mouse. each bit more daring than the one before. The coin is more than property. It becomes symbolic ownership of history. And the number climbs.